I always say this, like the one of the main reasons I think that wrestling struggles now with overall viewership is because the stories that are happening, the best angles are all happening for free on Twitter. Like the best storylines and the best angles are all because everyone's looking at the stuff on TV and going, oh, I know that's all somebody wrote that. Like I want to see what so and so said about so and so as a shoot. So it's like a lot of the time it goes back to that old less is more thing. It's better to just kind of keep your mouth shut about a lot of stuff, so that then when they hear you say something, if they don't necessarily know for sure if you're working or shooting, then it's probably the best way to work now.
1,000%. So what are you doing now? Are you working in NWA Power? Are you gonna go? I read somewhere where you had said something about that you had been offered to work in AEW, but you didn't take the offer. Why didn't you? Couldn't you have worked in both places?
At that time, that Tony did not. He did not make that an option. I did that. That was the first thing I asked for. And he wanted exclusive. I mean, it was a long time ago. It was January of 2019 that Tony set up a call, and look, I appreciated it. It's nice for to be desired, right? Like, and we had a long conversation, and he trusted me, because he told me then that they had the deal with TNT, and it was starting in the fall, and all these things that ended up happening. And it's like he trusted me enough, and I respected that his professionalism in telling me all these things. And I mean, look, it's keeping it 100.
Right.
If the money had been right, I would have had to go. You know what I mean? Right. I would have had to be like, look, it's great to have passion. It's great to really believe in what you're doing. But ultimately, if the money was too good to be true, it was a fine offer, but not
what you wanted.
Let me ask you this.
It was the same as what I was making. Billy bumped my money up. He bumped my money up a couple of times.
Let me ask you a question. So you were negotiating. Of course, all the boys. That means I just not politically correct here. Tony Khan was the new money mark, right? You're a billionaire coming into business, right? Were you guys talking? All these guys that were getting deals and stuff. Did you know what these guys were making, and that was why you couldn't come to an agreement, or did you just went in with what your value was, and it wasn't there, or did you know what all these other guys are making?
I'd heard different things thrown around, but you know how it is. It's like I always assume that it's a little bit embellished, but I've always gone in with gone into it with knowing what I want, my number, because I think if you start getting caught up in worrying about like whatever else, it doesn't get you anywhere. The reality is at the time, so that was part one, and I have to say this. I was completely transparent with everyone at the whole time. I said to Billy at the time, Tony wants to have a call with me, and he said, well, take it, because at the end of the day, we've had that conversation from the beginning where he had said, look, if WWE decide to call you and make you a big money offer at some point, I would never stand in the way of that.
Take it from a guy that 80% of his career I've been in heat, okay? Fired from a lot of places and quit a lot of places. You have heat until they need you. And that's the way. It's almost like this old joke that me and Disco always do about Kevin Sullivan, the booker. Have you ever heard that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Disco.
That Kevin Sullivan, hey, did you hear that Kevin Sullivan, that no good son of a bitch? I can't believe that son of a bitch. He buried me back in WCW. He's buried me in Florida Championship.
Did you hear that Kevin has the book in Florida?
Oh, hey, you got his number?
There you go.
That's the best. That's the
Tell me
business,
that's not the boys. 100%.